Hi everyone, Stepan here. I won my last game. Excuse me, this is game 77 against Steven. Same guy, same name as me. Joined 2 years ago. Okay, let's play the Queen's Gambit and let's beat Steven with the Queen's Gambit. Okay, accept the Gambit. Alright. This is gonna be an IQP position. Plays very, very quickly. I'm out of book. So what happens if I go d5? d5 on knight a5 I can play queen a4 check. On c3 I take. Maybe d5 isn't great, but it seems good. Knight b8 I'm not too afraid of. Okay, I'm gonna try d5 because it seems very interesting. I mean, I'm trying to disrupt my opponent's harmony before they get to castle. Don't I have queen a4 check? Queen a4, c6, dc6, knight c6, rook d1. I mean, queen a4 c6, dc6. If knight c4 I take on b7. Yeah, okay, I'm going for this. I don't see an immediate refutation. Okay, takes, knight takes, rook d1, another tempo. I'm going for this. Am I not just winning after bishop d2? Bishop d2, knight c4, queen c6, bishop d7, queen c4. The only question is, do I throw in rook d1 first? I don't think so. Bishop d2, knight c4, queen c6, bishop d7, queen c4. I'm just up a pawn. Okay, I'm gonna do it because I don't see a refutation. Queen c6, bishop d7, queen c4, up a pawn. I don't think I'm missing anything. I think this is fine. Surely you have to play bishop d7, otherwise I just take the rook, yeah. Okay. I'm very tempted to go queen d3, knight e5 and just trade the queens off. I think I'm gonna do that. Castles, knight e5. And the queens come off, and then I go bishop c3 maybe, just blocking the c file, and I should be up a clean pawn. What am I missing? Knight e5, knight e5, knight e5. Am I missing something? I don't think so. I want to get rid of this bishop if I can. That's the bishop I don't have. I mean, surely my opponent has to save the bishop somehow. Oh, there's bishop b5, queen b5, rook c5. I did not see that. But okay, I still get the bishop pair. Oh no, sorry, on rook c5 I have queen e2. I'm defending. Okay, so let's trade the queens off. I don't think bishop e8 was a good move, because now the rook on f8 is completely blocked. There will be a tempo with bishop b5 though. Rook takes? Has to be rook takes. Okay. Bishop b5 is coming. Bishop b5 is coming. Maybe not bishop c3, but bishop e3. To gain a tempo on the a7 pawn. That's what I'm gonna do. And if bishop b5, I have rook c1, and at least my rook is active. Okay. So now I can go knight c3, and on bishop b5 I actually have rook d1. So now I'm feeling even happier, and there's no bishop b5, excuse me, because there's a knight on c3. Okay. Again, it's tempting to go knight c4 to just keep gaining time. But I'm slightly worried about bishop b4. Takes, takes, and then bishop b5. Also rook d1, I can just pin the bishop. That seems pleasant. So rook fd1, the bishop cannot move. Okay, I'm gonna do that. That seems good. My opponent can go bishop a4, of course, and trade bishop for knight, which is, I would love that. It seems like bishop e8 was a mistake. The f8 rook is buried. Okay, so I am gonna take, I believe, on b5. I want to get rid of that bishop pair. Takes, bishop e5. Oh, am I hanging mate? I am hanging mate. Knight b5, bishop e5. Okay, I can go knight c3. Knight b5, bishop e5, knight c3. Do I have any other options? May not be as simple as it seems. So maybe I don't allow any trades. I don't want my opponent's bishop to come to e5. So I'm just going to bring the knight back. If my opponent wishes to spend another tempo, that's fine. I can play rook takes d6 and bishop c5. So I'm going to win a bishop. If my opponent's bishop moves away from b5, then rook takes d6, rook d6, bishop c5, something, and I take one of the rooks. So I do get one of the bishops. I was slightly worried about knight b5 because in the end mate was hanging if I trade on d8. And if I don't trade on d8, the bishop attacks the b2 pawn. If knight g4, I have rook d6 or knight b5. Not knight b5. Okay. Yeah, I think it's time to trade off this annoying bishop. Takes, and then maybe bishop d6, bishop b6. Or even bishop g5. Or knight e5. Oof, oof, okay. There are so many nice ideas here. I actually like knight e5. Because I'm threatening knight c6. Yeah, knight e5. What does my opponent do? Bishop d6 maybe? Then I can still take and go bishop c5. Yeah, knight e5 seems interesting. My advantage is the passed pawn on the queen side, my a pawn, so I have to play for that. Rook endgames are unclear. I would love to keep my bishop, trade my knight for his bishop, because then... Okay. Well, I don't think that changes much. I can go rook c1. I mean, I have to prevent... I just have to prevent rook c2, so... Seems like a forcing move. And if my opponent trades, then I still have knight c6. If my opponent goes rook d8, interesting position. Of course I'm better, I'm the one playing for a win, but okay, trading is fine, because now I have knight c6 on rook d8. Okay, I definitely don't want to give up my bishop. Definitely not. So bishop d4, bishop f6, knight f3, takes. Seems okay. Okay, I'm playing bishop d4. Ooh, there's knight f4. Ooh, there is knight f4. But okay, I can go king f1. I have not considered knight f4. So bishop d4, knight f4, king f1. It seems okay. I can go king f1. King f1 is fine. If bishop f6, I have knight f3. And after king f1, I will not have to deal with back rank issues anymore. There's also bishop g5. I haven't considered that at all, but I think I can go rook d1. Okay, knight f4, king f1. Let's stick to the plan. Okay. So my opponent wants to go bishop f6 and take the pawn on b2. And I don't have time for knight c6 because of bishop g5. I still feel like bishop e3 is the best move. On bishop f6, knight d3, and king e2. Seems okay. Because my bishop on e3 dominates this knight. I feel like that's very important. So bishop f6, knight d3, rook d8, king e2. Seems okay. Also, I can go rook c2 eventually. Okay. a3 seems forced. On b4 there is knight c6, so my opponent cannot go b4. And on bishop f6 there's knight d3. Okay, knight d3, forced. Now I'm also defending against b4, which is a happy coincidence. And the reason I kept my bishop on e3 is because now the knight's dominated. So wherever the knight goes, I have the option to trade. Okay, king e2. I'm not hanging any checks because my bishop covers the knight. Next, I want to go rook c2 and consolidate. Is there anything better? I don't think so. I'll just play rook c2. Unpin my knight. Because I can then go knight b4, knight d5. Also, my rook isn't on a dark square. It's a good idea to keep your pieces off the color complex of your opponent's bishop. Okay. So my opponent wishes to trade. I want to trade knights, so I'm looking at knight c5. And there is rook c8, that's an issue. But if I go knight f4, then bishop e3, knight e6, fe6, fe3. On knight f4, if knight f4, then bishop f4. Should be pleasant enough. I want to avoid an isolated e-pawn if I can, so I think I am gonna go knight f4. Obviously I have to keep covering the d4 square. And I don't want to trade bishops, I want to trade knights. And if my opponent takes on e3, then I will have isolated their e-pawn as well. So it's going to be easier to play. with a target on e6. And on bishop e3, knight e6, my opponent doesn't have the option to avoid me taking the bishop because the rook is hanging. If the knight just moves away, I think I have rook d2 and I'm winning. I'm sure I do. So I don't think there's an alternative to knight f4 or bishop e3. I mean, maybe rook e8? Maybe rook e8? I've managed to keep the bishops on the board. Now, I could go king d3. And then rook d8, bishop c7, rook d7, maybe I should just trade. No, that's too scary. I'm gonna trade. King d3 seems too scary. This is a drawn rook and pawn endgame, I think. Although with the pawn on e3, it's slightly more imbalanced, and I mean, of course, if my opponent takes, it's slightly more imbalanced, and I could have a bit more chances. I don't think I could have played king d3. It seems too scary. I am gonna play king d3 on the next turn if my opponent doesn't take. Yeah, now I do play king d3. Because now I'm just threatening to take the bishop. Come on. Okay, my opponent doesn't trade. I cannot activate my king with b2 hanging, so I'm gonna try rook d2, bishop d4, king c3. I know I'm putting my rook on a dark square, but no, I've just blundered. No, I didn't. I can go king c2. No. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. I want my king on the queen side, covering my pawns. So on rook d8, king c2. And if a rook trade happens, then bishop d2. And if rook c8, then I can go king b3, and my rook is free to move. Okay, now I'm much happier. Now my king is defending the b pawn, so my pieces are free. Now I just need to figure out a way to round up the b5 pawn. So probably rook b5. Sorry, rook d5, rook b5. Okay, let's activate the bishop. I think c5 is the perfect square for my bishop because it allows me to go king b4 and put pressure on the pawn with my king. And I can go king b4 and b3 to finally save my b pawn. And I'm also covering f2. I'm preventing king f8. Okay. I need to hold on to the second rank. I'm not afraid of rook d2 because I can trade and I have a winning bishop endgame. Okay. My opponent's king is completely cut off, so that's good. Also, rook e7 seems scary if the bishop moves. Okay. I'm gonna go g3 f4. And if my opponent plays f4, I'm gonna throw in rook e5, rook d5. I think. Or I'm gonna take and go rook e7 check. I'm not sure yet. Oh, actually on f4 I have bishop d6. Winning a pawn. A prudent move. Now let's regain the file. Now I have the option to go rook d7 and rook d5. I'm reluctant to play f4 because on rook e8 I will not have bishop e3. Okay, now rook d5, and how does my opponent save the pawn? Okay, I have to play b3 first. Excuse me. I have to play b3 first. Otherwise bishop takes b2. But now my plan is rook d5, rook b5. After I move my bishop away. I have given away the c3 square, so on something like rook c7 I have to watch out for bishop c3, king c3, rook c5. Oh, isn't this just losing? Oh no, there's king e6. There is king e6. I didn't see king e6. Yeah, okay, there's king e6. Can I go? Can I go rook d8? Threatening, of course, rook e8 check, forcing king f6. And then rook a8? My opponent goes bishop c7. Then I can check the king away. Yeah, I like that, I like that. Because I'm just trying to come around this way, pick up the pawn this way. And of course my opponent can never trade rooks. If the rooks come off, it should be over. This is a weird move. Yeah, now I just have rook a8 on bishop c7. I have rook a7 and it's game over. Also, I can just go rook a7. I don't even have to win the pawn. I can go rook a7 and win. Because the king is on the 7th rank. And my opponent doesn't have a way to avoid that. I mean, the king would have to come where? To f6 or e6? Well, then I can just go rook a5 and take the pawn. Yeah, okay, now I'm winning. I don't think there's a way to save this. If my opponent goes rook d7, I'm actually just playing rook a7. I don't want to calculate anything. Rook a7 is winning. A rook trade is an immediate resignation because the b5 pawn will fall. And then I have two connected passed pawns. And if my opponent plays king e6 or king f6, well, on king e6 I have rook a6, and on king d5 I can take on g6. On king f6 I can check my opponent to the 7th rank, and on king g5 I have f4, forking king and bishop. So I think it's all winning. I don't think there's a way to avoid the rook trade. Yeah. I would resign here as black. I don't see it. Bishop c7, rook a7, king e6, rook a6, king f6, rook a6, rook c7, rook a7, bishop somewhere, rook a7. No, it's over. It's over. Absolutely over. I was thinking about winning the b pawn, but trading rooks is even better. My opponent's king is too far away. If we trade rooks, I just queen. I probably make 2 queens. Steven. Come on, Steven, make a move. Oh, I see a move now. Bishop b8. Bishop b8 prevents rook a7. But then I can just go rook a5. And take the pawn on b5. Still, bishop b8 seems like the best move. Oh, that surely doesn't work. So rook a6, king d5, rook g6. Seems winning. What do I do on rook c7? Huh. No, it's fine. It's fine. King g6. Rook c7, I can go bishop e3. Or even... I can't even go f4. Because on f4, the bishop really doesn't have any squares. My opponent will have to trade. Is f4 better than moving the bishop? f4, rook c5, fe5. King e5 isn't playable because if king takes c5. Yeah, okay, f4 seems good. Ah, there's bishop c3, f4, bishop c3, king c3, rook c5. King... probably d3. Yeah, okay, it's fine, it's fine. I'm playing f4. Because if the bishop steps away from this square, then I have anything. Bishop d6, rook d6. Probably bishop c3 is the best move, but I doubt it works. I probably play king d3 to prevent rook c2. Although I could go king b4 and just take the b5 pawn. That's probably better. Yeah, I'm playing king b4. And of course, if the bishop moves away, I can just go rook d6 check and king b5. Okay, so rook d6, king e4, king b5 works. Yeah, I'm just 3 pawns up. This is... I would have to do I don't know what, blunder my rook. And even then it's not too clear. Okay, so here. Yeah, I don't see it. Let's just make a queen. King g2 is impossible due to rook d2 check. Rook b7 doesn't do anything due to... Oh, come on. This is unfortunate. Okay. I'm sorry, Steven, but this is... Surely now it's time to resign. Okay, I don't know what my opponent's thinking, but we will wait. Oh, waiting. Oh, he went away. Okay. I don't like that. If you're worse, you should just resign. If you're like me and you think practicing against the engine is boring because it either crushes you or plays like an idiot, try playing against Noctie. Noctie is a human-like AI that's going to adapt to your strength, is going to play like a human, try to trick you like a human, and challenge you on your own level. Samuel, the creator and owner of Noctie, and I have come up with a promotion for this World Championship. You probably heard me talk about Noctie before, but I actually think it's a great way to study, and it makes not having a fanatic chess player next to you, well, less harmful to your chess training, and you can basically train as if you were training against a human. So we decided to do something for the first 10 people who sign up for Noctie with the code Hanging Pawns are gonna get personalized training routines, which I'm going to make. So I'm going to create a 1-month training schedule based on your abilities, based on your problems, based on what you and I think you should be studying. And yeah, if you would like me to do that, check out Noctie. Of course, you don't have to go for premium. It's a great product, even with the basic features. But the first 10 people who do decide to use the code Hanging Pawns are gonna get training routines made by me. So if you do sign up, just email samuel@noctie.ai and he will know that you signed up and he will inform me. Okay, let's get back to the game. Okay, let's analyze. Let's see. So, Queen's Gambit accepted. I don't know knight c6. And it's a confusing move that allows d5. So I played knight f3. My opponent went knight f6. I castled. Bishop e7. Okay, d5 has been played once. Knight c3 has been played. h3 has been played. So let's see. h3 is the best move. d5. Okay, knight here. Queen a4. c6. d6. Ah, because d6, bishop d6, rook e1, bishop e7, and I can probably prevent castling some way. But okay, takes, pawn takes. I was expecting knight takes, and I was gonna go rook d1. Okay, so bishop d2, knight c4, queen c6, bishop d7, equal. Queen d3 is a mistake. I should have gone queen a6. Castles, knight. Oh, I'm worse. Pawn up and worse. Okay, bishop e8 is a weird move, but takes, bishop e3. This is just dead equal. Where did I miss my win? Whoa, on bishop b6, there is no rook d7, I'm just winning. Okay. I'm still much better, but let's see. Okay, I should have gone knight c6. I was afraid of bishop f6. But maybe I have rook c5. Knight c6, bishop f6, rook c5, a double attack, and I just win a pawn. King f1. Okay, this is all. I haven't played precisely, but it's fine. Okay, knight f4 was a good move. Bishop. Okay, with the bishops on the board, I know it's a relatively easy conversion because it's very hard to defend the pawn on b5. So I actually think my opponent should have traded bishops when he had the chance. But I'm guessing since the king is so far away, it's actually not possible to draw this. Yeah, this seems losing. I mean, I'm just gonna win the pawn. Okay, f5. Yeah, once my king reaches b4, I don't think there's any counterplay left. Wait, on f4, don't I just go bishop d6? Yeah, I do. Oh. I did not see. Wait, on f3, don't I have... I don't have rook e5 because of bishop d8 check. Okay. Rook a8. f4 is fine. Yeah, and then just rook d2. Okay, I mean, 93% accuracy, 4 inaccuracies, 20 average centipawn loss. I mean, I didn't convert perfectly. I think my biggest missed one was not seeing bishop b6. In any case, thank you for watching. 2 in a row, finally. Stay tuned for more chess. Bye-bye.